Hello. So tonight I'm doing a bit of an impromptu, very special live with a friend of mine, Diana, and the name on the screen, Velvet, is about Diana's dog that you're going to hear all about in a minute. So thank you so much for joining us. How are you, Diana?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Catherine. Really, thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. Well, what I'm going to do today, guys, is I'm going to be asking just briefly Diana to share her story, because you're going to see it's apparent as we go through that she can't share much at the moment, and you're going to find out why. But anyone who watches my channel, not only I'm seeing some lovely familiar friends. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Anne. Hi, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining us already. Because anyone who watches my channel knows a couple of things. They know, one, that my absolute passion is animals and helping any animals and their parents and the animal parents, because animals are such a gift to us and they live in this stressful human world, and we need to do the best we can to do the right thing by them. But also anyone who watches, any of my videos knows that the only reason I've been doing these videos is to try and really get everyone aware and more aware, one, to have a community and aware of what's going on and how we can empower ourselves, but also very importantly how we can help ourselves and others. So today's all about a very special lady, Diana, and her beautiful dog Velvet, who really need our help. And as I said, I've never done this type of thing and probably won't be doing again, but this is something that can't wait and has to be done now. So thank you for everyone who's joining us. So Diana, let's launch straight into it then. I know you can't share a lot at the moment for sort of safety reasons, but could you just give us a little introduction of yourself, why you're in England, and why, what your current predicament is?
Yes. I arrived in England in 2015. I was asked to come. I was on your professional shortage list. So I'm a specialist in acquired brain injury, tracheotomy, dysphagia under the umbrella of speech and language pathology. I worked in this country in private and NHS care. In 2019, April of 2019, my dad was quite poorly. He had congestional heart failure, and he had onset of dementia. So I went back home to take care of him, and that was April of 2019. I stayed with him until he passed away. And then in November 2019, I received a call to come back to England. The call that I received, the person who I knew, who was in a management position, said that something very big was happening. We need someone who could hit the ground running. We'd like you to come back. So I did.
November 19. I want everyone to take note of that date, November 2019.
That's right.
And by that stage, Velvet, Diana, you had a very special gift from your dad at this stage, didn't you, before he passed away?
Yeah, my dad asked me to promise him I would take care of her. So Velvet made the trip over with me to England. I arrived here early January 2020, and she came with me. And she's sleeping right here. See?
Oh, hello, Velvet. You're beautiful. Yes, you're beautiful, darling.
And she arrived with me early 2020. When I arrived, it was all hands on deck. We had to wear a spacesuit for what was happening in healthcare. There was only 2 spacesuits at the time, so anyone watching would probably know what I'm talking about. You needed 2 people, one to assist you to get it on, because it was a very heavy belt and there were tubes. But we had to take turns, which made it quite difficult to see patients. In March of 2020, they turned over to give us an FP3 fitted mask. So anyone who had an air generated procedure would receive a fitted FP3 mask. So we wore those instead instead of the spacesuit. I carried on just like everyone. I believed everything I was told until about August of 2020. And then I started to see some things just didn't seem to make sense to me. Something wasn't quite right. By October of 2020, I knew something was not right. I expressed those concerns to colleagues and to management. I even provided evidence when I went to management. When I went to management and provided the evidence, it was real no response other than a look into it. Basically, it was just swept under the carpet. I heard crickets back. I asked 2 times after that and received no response. In January of 2021, the hospital that I worked for had a private company come in to administer and 2 consecutive Saturdays. I was in the second of the 2 Saturdays to come in to get it. My colleagues who went before me, the effects of had seizures, neuro issues, and I'm talking from moderate to severe, not mild, on top of the vomiting, the high fevers, the stomach cramping, and one mysteriously passed away, no reason given, a colleague. So when the second Saturday came, I did not show up. On that Monday, I was brought into the office. They told me it was mandatory. I refused and subsequently was dismissed. Friendships that I thought I had a very good rapport with people, all of a sudden treated me like a leper. I could not get any other position in this vicinity. I was told I'm non-compliant, and this was a mandate. So many months of unemployment. I decided I am going back to the US. However, I could not afford to take Velvet. So I asked the dog sitter who would come and take Velvet for walks when I was at work if she would take care of Velvet for me until I could afford to bring her back. She had agreed. And about 1 week ago, she had called me, texted me, and said, unfortunately, the plans have changed. She can no longer take care of Velvet. So, that's why I'm here, because she's been my saving grace. There are times I really thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. I felt isolated, so I know what it feels like to be isolated and alone for long periods of time, and thinking you really have no one, no support system. Because in reality, I thought I was doing the right thing, and I believe I did do the right thing. But the majority of people around me treated me like a leper. And
it's so hard. I mean, when I heard your story, Diana, I just was so upset because, you know, I know what it's like. My daughter's in a foreign country. I've not been able to visit her throughout this whole ridiculous scenario. Your sons haven't been able to visit you. You've been completely, isolated. And not only that, you were doing an incredibly important medical role, looking after severely injured people, that was really needed, and as a consequence of just standing up for your rights, have then lost your employment. But what I did want to stress to everyone is you had made arrangements. You didn't book your flight thinking, oh, I'm just not going to worry about Velvet. You made proper arrangements with someone that she knew and was really happy to go to, so that you could go home, get the job, raise the funds, and afford to bring her over. Because otherwise people think that, you know, you were just about it. Absolutely not the case. So as far as you were concerned, everything was sorted, wasn't it?
Exactly. And I was quite devastated that I just received a text after she agreed.
Oh, sorry, your sound's gone, Diana.
Oh, I said I was quite disappointed, since that was agreed upon in August, and she just texted me now that her plans had changed. Meanwhile, I booked my ticket. So
And of course, we all know the legislation's changing about the requirements for this to fly into America from the 1st of November, I think it is anyway. So basically the purpose of this call is, this is a really, really awful situation. So there's two things that we're sort of asking for. So Diana is in Kent in England. We won't give her exact location at the moment.
Yeah.
So scenario number one is, if there's anyone in the south of England that's experienced with dogs. Velvet is a lovely dog, isn't she? She's kind, she's good with other dogs, she's not tested with cats. How old is she, Diana?
She's 4.5. She'll be 5 soon.
Yeah. Now, because Velvet was a rescue dog before Diana's father got her, and Diana's done a great job with her confidence. And as you can see, she's a happy, lovely dog. So if there's anyone that is experienced in the south of England that is able to contact myself or Diana, that could offer sort of 6 to 8 weeks of foster care in a safe, loving home for her, to whilst you then go back and raise the money to actually fly her over, because you have a very good transport company, don't you, that brought her over?
Yes, I do. It's called Fly Pets.
Yeah.
And they take very good care of them. So
yeah,
for a long trip, they're well kept.
Yeah. So that's scenario A. Scenario B, which would obviously be the preferred option, is that we try and help Diana raise some money so that Velvet can travel back at the same time as she does in October. Now, to do that, obviously the cost of flying a pet is expensive, and I think it's £2,800, isn't it, Diana?
That's correct, yes.
And that covers all the costs of her going with this proper accredited company so that she'll be safe and well cared for.
Yeah.
But to do that, when would you need to book that by?
The 15th of October.
The 15th of October would be the absolute latest date. So really, folks, this is just a plea. It's not something I ever normally do, but this is an exceptional circumstance in this. Is what we're doing is we're reaching out just to say, look, Velvet is an amazing dog. She's been an absolute support to Diana. Diana has just done an amazing job. You know, not only has Velvet lost her dad, you know, Diana's dad, but Diana lost a job. And then Diana came over here when she was called suspiciously in November 19 to actually do a very worthwhile job. And obviously at that stage, you had no idea that you were going to have to go back, because none of us had any idea that this was going to, you know, happen.
Transpire, yeah.
And Diana did not come to me asking for money. I want to make this 100% clear. Diana has never asked me for any money. Diana just asked, with all my contacts, if I knew someone that was a safe and loving foster home while she could raise the money. But unfortunately, I don't know, because all my friends are like me and they're completely full up with their own rescue animals. So I'm in a really difficult position where I don't know anyone in the south of England that's able to provide a loving, safe foster home whilst we sort this out. So what we are putting here, as said, exceptional circumstances. We are putting in the chat Diana's PayPal link. Anyone who uses PayPal, you can just go to PayPal and put in the person's email and donate. And we're asking if anyone has anything, any little bit, big or small, because the ideal scenario, Velvet's been through so much. She's already travelled over here, which she did cope with well, but she's lost her dad. Obviously, Diana's had a very, very stressful last 6 months. Excuse me. So in terms of if anyone does feel able and comfortable, Diana, your email address is there as well. I don't know if Andrea, would you mind just posting that? Oh, Andrea's posted it here again, and it's below, Diana_Norton@yahoo.com. And it is just so important. So will there be a location set up for the donations? Yes, it's PayPal, and Diana is completely transparent about the donations. And I 100% don't trust Diana. This is purely for Velvet, and anything over and above will be returned, or if the people don't want it returned, donated to a dog rescue. It's a lot of money we're asking. Obviously, we do appreciate that £2,800 is a lot of money. But if everyone, I know there's not many people on this video now, but if you've got any animal loving shares, and if anyone could just give $1 or $2 together, you know, we've all been through a lot. Diana's been through so much that she can't share now until she's safely back in America.
Yeah.
For her own health and safety reasons.
Yeah. Thank you. It won't be appropriate for me to share now because I wouldn't feel safe doing so.
Yeah.
But you and I will have another catch up, and when I'm home and I feel safe and secure again, then I could talk about those details. Yeah.
And anyone donating or able to foster. So Shelley, perhaps you can contact Diana on the email address given and have a discussion about that. That would be so amazing. You know, because we're just looking for all options. What we can't have is for Velvet's sake, but for Diana's sake, is this left unresolved. And I agree. I feel really emotional because, you know, this is such an important thing. And we, you know, at times like this, everyone on here on the chat has been through so much, but this is really hitting home to real life individuals. I know there's loads of you that are either losing your jobs through standing up for your rights, or your loved ones, or even people, you know, members of your family are losing it. So we do appreciate that there's so many people in a difficult situation. But we can't put Velvet through any more stress. And, you know, Diana had done everything she could to make satisfactory arrangements, and it's fallen through no help of her own. So, Shelley, thank you. Please do contact either myself or Diana. And if anyone feels if anyone feels able to. We haven't set up a GoFundMe yet. I'll tell you why, Michelle, because one, this has all happened at the last minute. And first of all, I was asking all the people I know who might be able to foster her, but everyone's, you know, full up at the moment. Yes, I will ask Janine as well. But secondly, I'd heard sort of not very good things about GoFundMe and people not getting access to the money. So we haven't had a chance to do that, but PayPal is, and we will absolutely, you know, not take a penny over what it costs to take Velvet back. You know, Diana's completely trustworthy like that. And so, and also she will keep all of us updated about when we've got enough funds to get her back, if that's possible. I believe, I'm asking the universe if it's possible. I think there'll be enough people in this community. If everyone just gave a couple of dollars, I'm sure we could do it. And this is literally changing lives. So is anyone, Diana, have you got anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I'd like to thank everyone listening, and even if you can't donate, I appreciate the thoughts, and maybe you could get the word out, because to leave her behind would be heartbreaking, to be quite fair. So my goal is to try to get her home with me. If not, then when I get back, I'll go back to work and have her follow me 4 to 6 weeks later. But you know, I was telling Catherine, in today's climate, you try to do the right thing, there are consequences. So I appreciate anyone's help at this point.
Yeah, and so do I. As I said, it's something I've never done before, and Diana and I discussed it long and hard about whether, you know, it was appropriate, knowing what difficult positions everyone's in. But this is so appropriate because the thing is, folks, we know things are changing all the time, and you know, what we want to do is we want to get Velvet and Diana home safely together. And I'm just praying and putting it out there to the universe. And after this finishes, I'll be doing a meditation. My listeners, you're absolutely amazing. The links, as soon as this goes live, I will put Diana's links again under the show. If not, everyone, all my contact details are under all my videos, so don't hesitate to contact me and I can put you directly in contact with Diana. Diana, thank you for, first of all, for all you did for your dad, and for his dying wish was you to look after Velvet, and you've done that beautifully, and we know you'll continue to do so. And thank you for all the patients that you've helped and for standing up for what's right. And thank you, anyone not seeing the PayPal information. Let me just get that up again. Yes, the PayPal is in Diana's name. I'll just put it in the chat there again, and it's up in the chat again. So anyone who's used PayPal, if you can't use that and you want to donate, contact me and somehow we'll get the money across to her. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and really good luck, Diana, and big kiss to Velvet.
Thank you for having me, Catherine. And thank you, everyone, for listening. I do appreciate your time. Thank you. And your understanding.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea, as well, for your help.